Welcome everyone to another deep dive. Today we're digging into Wanderpod Journey to explore Kerala in India. It's famously known as God's own country, and we want to understand why. It's more than just a catchy name, right? It seems to be this really deep experience for people. So our mission today is basically to pull out those key insights from the source that defined this place. You know, it's this lush green paradise on India's southwestern coast. Palm trees, beaches, those famous backwaters, misty hills too, and apparently incredibly rich traditions and just this deep sense of hospitality. It pops up on must-visit lists all the time.
It really does. And it's fascinating how a place actually gets a name like God's own country and then seems to live up to it. So yeah, this deep dive is about getting under the skin of that, understanding why it resonates so strongly, with visitors, but also with the locals themselves. What makes it tick?
Okay, great. Let's start with maybe the most obvious draw of the nature. It's absolutely stunning. And the source, Wanderpod Journey, doesn't just say scenic, it uses the phrase soul-soothing, which is quite evocative, isn't it? Try and picture this, right? You're maybe floating along in a houseboat, Aleppi perhaps. Yeah, Aleppi, just calm backwaters, coconut trees all around, sun setting.
Yeah.
It sounds incredible. Or you can picture being up in the hills, Munnar maybe, sipping some fresh cardamom tea, surrounded by just miles of these green tea plantations, breathing in that cool mountain air.
It paints a beautiful picture.
It really does. And the source also mentions other spots, like the beaches for Kala, Kovalam, and wildlife sanctuaries too, like Thekadi and Wayanad. So there's incredible natural diversity.
Yeah.
But you picked up on that phrase, soul-soothing. What does the source suggest makes it more than just beautiful scenery? How does it actually soothe the soul, as they say?
That's a really good point. The source seems to suggest it's about the variety and the pace of life it encourages. It's not just one type of beauty. You have the tranquility of the backwaters, the sort of majesty of the hills, the energy of the coast. It's like a landscape that speaks every language of serenity, as the source puts it. And this variety, this richness, it seems to seep into the way of life. It's not just a backdrop, it shapes things. It encourages a slower pace, maybe a deeper connection with the environment.
That makes sense. A landscape that dictates the rhythm of life, almost. Okay, so beyond that natural canvas, let's shift to the culture. Because Kerala isn't just quiet landscapes, it's also incredibly vibrant, right?
Absolutely. It's a living heritage.
Yeah, the source highlights some key things,
Yeah.
like Kalara Payatu, the martial art. It mentions it's considered one of the oldest fighting systems anywhere. Really fluid, ancient stuff. And then there's Kathakali, that classical dance form. With the incredible makeup and costumes, telling stories just through expressions and gestures. It sounds mesmerizing.
It really is. And the source emphasizes these aren't just museum pieces or performances for tourists. Kalaripayattu, Kathakali, they're woven into the community fabric. People still practice them, learn them, cherish them.
And festivals, too. Onam gets a big mention. The Harvest Festival.
Yeah.
Apparently, it just transforms the state with colors, flowers, huge feasts.
Yes. Onam sounds incredible. The source talks about those intricate flower carpets, the pukulams, and the massive vegetarian feast, the onasadya, and don't forget the snake boat races.
Ah, yes, the snake boat races. I saw pictures. Intense.
Totally. The source describes this amazing energy, the adrenaline, but also this deep community spirit. It takes incredible teamwork to power those boats. And I think that connects back to what you mentioned earlier, the hospitality, this vibrant culture, these shared celebrations. They seem to foster that welcoming spirit. It's like an open invitation.
Okay, I'm already feeling immersed. But we have to talk about the food. Wanderpod Journey makes it sound like a major highlight, a real journey for the senses.
Oh, absolutely. Kerala's cuisine is definitely something special, reflects the land completely.
So what are we talking about? The source mentions things like spicy fish curry. Sounds warming. Creamy coconut chutneys. Coconut seems key there.
Very key, given the geography, right? Coconut trees everywhere. It finds its way into so many dishes, savory and sweet. And spices too, of course. Cardamom, cloves, cinnamon, pepper. It's the Malabar coast, after all. Historic spice hub.
And the sadhya. That's the big one, isn't it? The traditional feast on a banana leaf. Over 20 different dishes, the source says. That's incredible.
It really is. And it's not just about the quantity. The source suggests the sadhya is deeply symbolic. It represents abundance, community, the care taken in preparation, and that spirit of generous hospitality again. Sharing food is central.
It sounds like an experience, not just a meal. And the source even mentions the simple things, like a hot cup of Kerala chai, especially on a rainy day, maybe with some banana chips or fried plantains. Comfort food.
Exactly. It's the whole spectrum, from the elaborate feast to the simple, perfect cup of tea. The source really makes the point that the food is inseparable from the experience of Kerala. It connects you to the place, the traditions, the people. It creates memories.
Okay, so we have nature, culture, food. But there's another really significant layer the source, Wanderpod Journey, focuses on, what it calls Kerala's progressive heritage.
Yes, this is a really distinctive aspect.
Top of the list is the literacy rate. It's noted as among the highest in India.
Yeah.
There's this deep value placed on education, it seems, and also on healthcare, and just generally forward-thinking ideas.
That's right. The source links that high literacy and value for education directly to the state's progressive outlook. It suggests it fosters a more informed, engaged population. It impacts everything from social development to, well, maybe even how people interact with each other.
And that leads to another point this source really emphasizes, the religious harmony. It describes Hindus, Christians, Muslims living side by side, not just tolerating each other, but actually celebrating each other's festivals and traditions. That sounds quite special. How does the source suggest this contributes to that God's own country feeling?
Well, it seems fundamental. The source portrays it as creating a genuinely peaceful and welcoming atmosphere. If communities respect each other, celebrate together, it naturally leads to a more inclusive and, frankly, safer feeling environment for everyone, locals and visitors alike. It underpins that sense of ease and welcome that people talk about. And the source does pose it as a bit of a model. You know, what can other places learn from this kind of coexistence?
That's a powerful point. So when you pull it all together, the nature, the culture, the food, this progressive, harmonious society, it really does sound like more than just a holiday destination. Like this source says, Kerala is an experience, something you feel.
Exactly. A
Yeah.
feeling.
That feeling of peace on the backwaters, maybe the spicing of spice from the food, the rhythm of the dance, and just the warmth you sense from people, like that boatman the source mentions, guiding you through the water with a smile. It seems to be this unique blend, doesn't it? Ancient traditions meeting modern progress.
A really interesting harmony.
So if you, listening, are thinking about your next journey, well, Wanderpod Journey certainly makes a strong case for Kerala, not just because it's beautiful, but because it seems to have this real heart. Maybe that's why they call it God's own country.
And that leaves us with a thought, perhaps. We've talked about all these incredible elements, the serenity, the culture, the food, the progressive values. But if you had to distill it, what truly defines the heart, the essence of a place like this? And maybe what lessons can other places draw from Kerala's unique way of blending its deep traditions with its forward momentum? Something to ponder.